Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today, as you can see, we will be viewing TAHM KENCH, the new champion for the Bilgewater region. So, I have not seen this yet. Let's just take a look at what we are about to see. TAHM KENCH is a 4-mana 2/6. Round start. Create an acquired taste in hand. We'll find out what that is. Level up. I've captured 3 units. When I level up, obliterate my captured enemies and release my allies. Okay, well, we'll see what... I'm guessing acquired taste will capture something. A 4-mana 2/6, so kind of looks, you know, somewhat control-ly. You know, and that you're going to be... It's basically a way of killing units, it seems, and obliterating units as well, which could be somewhat important. Well, we'll see what acquired taste is before... Here's an acquired taste. A 2-mana slow speed spell that is fleeting. TAHM KENCH swallows an enemy unit. It strikes him, then he captures it. So the unit will strike TAHM KENCH. Interesting. In each round start, you're going to get one of these, by the way. It strikes him, then he captures it. I'm assuming that when he has swallowed it, if you kill him, then you get everything just comes back. Devour friend and foe to clear the board. So you can do this with your own units as well, of course. But let's keep going.
The river always provides. Bargain accepted.
A 3-mana spell here, Bayou Brunch, a slow speed spell as well. An ally captures another ally and gains the captured ally stats. Okay, well this makes more sense, of course. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I'm kind of excited to see what the level up is, because if it's, you know, cool, then this could be a very cool playstyle indeed. Yeah, obviously this is going to be a card that you're probably going to have to play in TAHM KENCH decks.
Excuse my impertinence. Come along. There's room for everyone.
And here he is, TAHM KENCH. A 4-mana 3/7. Round start. Still getting the acquired taste. Attack. Obliterate my captured enemies and release my allies. Now this is going to be... how will it release your allies? I'm assuming they'll just go back to the bench or back row or whatever the right word is. But I'm assuming they won't be attacking when you do that, because this is obviously an attack effect here. So we'll have to see. But... did he do that when he leveled up as well? Just let me quickly check when we first saw this card. Level up, I've captured. So when he levels up, he'll obliterate it first, and release your allies as well. And then also, once he's leveled up, then anytime he attacks, he will do it as well. So it's kind of like a constant removal piece in a way. And obviously, if you use like the spell that they showed us here, this Bayou Brunch, you're essentially just giving him a bunch of stats, and then you're still getting the unit afterwards. I'm assuming this will be his champion spell. I would have thought so, because, you know, it synergizes so well. But where were we? Where were we? I think I went too far. There we were. Yeah, so... brings back... That's a pretty cool animal.
Let us reconnoiter.
And then he's still going to be creating those acquired tastes. And then anytime you attack... oh man, this is going to be cool. This is so cool. And you just destroy everything of theirs. And obviously it goes so well with the cards they showed us yesterday. Oh, this is so cool. And of course, any of the cards that were played yesterday, of course, they deal damage to themselves, but when they're summoned, you know, that they come out as whatever they are. So if you TAHM KENCH them and eat them with TAHM KENCH and then spit them back out, they're going to have their full stats again. So all is going really, really well. Let's look at some of the other cards on Twitter now. So here they are. So we've got TAHM KENCH here, and it is TAHM KENCH's Bayou Brunch. Makes sense. The card, you know, obviously fits very well with what he wants to do. We've got Acquired Taste there, and these are the two other cards. We've got Wise Fry, which is a 6-mana 3/8 Overwhelm Vulnerable. Play. Deal 1 to all other allies and grant me +1/0 for each of them. So if you've got 5 on the board, you will have a 6-mana 8/8 Overwhelm with Vulnerable. I mean, 8 health with Vulnerable is... I'd be surprised if your opponent has... So if you've got... This is like a full board finisher. Whoa. I'm thinking like aggro Demacia. You've got a full board that you've buffed up. You Ranger's Resolve into this. It deals 1 damage, but obviously it doesn't deal the damage because of Ranger's Resolve. You've given it tough. You've got an 8/8 Overwhelm. That seems like a pretty good finisher. Is it better than Genevieve? Probably not. And that is really the problem. But anything else that wants to go wide, that does, you know, if you want to use Bilgewater instead of Demacia and maybe go with Noxus or something else, I could see this getting played 100%. You know, a 6/8 Overwhelm. Like, say if you got 3 things on the board, that's still pretty good as well. Yeah, so I think Wise Fry looks pretty good. And then Shakedown is a 1-mana burst speed spell. Deal 2 to an ally to grant 2 enemies vulnerable. Whoa! Vlad got a... This is exactly the kind of things that Vlad needed, is Shakedown. Like, this is perfect. You know, you use this on Crimson Curator, Crimson Disciple. You know, you get vulnerable, and it's grant as well. It's not give, it's grant, so, you know, they'll have vulnerable the rest of the game. And it's just an easy way for you to just take something down. Man, that seems pretty good as well. This all seems pretty good. Right. Let's evaluate TAHM KENCH as a whole. Take these off because I'm not listening to anything. Let's see. 4 mana. We know his associated units and the type of things that he's going to be doing are pretty good already. So, you know, they're all pretty good. He's not a finisher in himself. He's just sort of like a very, like, mid to late game value champion. The 6 health is quite a lot. But it is strike on the Acquired Taste. Like, they showed us the, like, best case scenario, right, with Braum. Like, you know, if your opponent plays Braum, TAHM KENCH is a great counter to Braum. Because obviously it has no attack. But the strike is interesting, right? Can he survive enough strikes? Because obviously you'll want to be taking at least somewhat, you know, powerful units to, you know, get the most out of it. Could you combine him with, you know, what's the card? The Freljord card that gives him regeneration, or, you know, the Behold card that gives something overwhelming regeneration. That, I mean, that seems like quite a lot of fun. You're definitely going to need Bayou's Brunch in there, and I'm glad that it is his card. And they showed us a good example as there, on there as well, with like Hunting Fleet. You know, a card that hasn't really seen much play. You know, didn't really make much sense. But then, you know, in that scenario, makes a lot of sense with something like TAHM KENCH. And you'll want to be playing big stat units of your own, big health units of your own to give to TAHM KENCH, I guess. I don't know. He's a hard champion to evaluate, I think, because like he's got 6 health. So the fact that the Acquired Taste or Bayou Brunch is slow speed initially shouldn't be too big of an issue. It's still not great, but it's not like, you know, you're gonna do this and they're like, you know, they have to have, you know, Vengeance, Will of Ionia. I'm sure there's more that I'm just not thinking of. Man, I don't know. It's a tough one, right? Now, if you silence him with Hush, remember that card? If you silence him with Hush, the units still stay there, right? They don't all of a sudden pop out of him. I assume. But I don't actually know. But I'm going to assume that they don't just pop out of him. But he seems pretty good. The slow speed doesn't help a lot once you start getting down in health, and they'll start having, Get Excited or Mystic Shots or Grasp of the Undying. Like, you have to try and keep him out of that range. And if he does die, and they get all their units back, and you'll get your units back as well, maybe it is better off, to capture 2 of your own units instead. You will have to go somewhat unit heavy. It's going to be interesting. I don't quite know what the best deck for him is yet. We might see, so some of the other cards is what he goes well with. But I'm not quite sure yet. But it's certainly interesting. It's very different. It's unique. And I kind of like it just for that effect. The cards we saw yesterday I thought were pretty strong on the whole. The 2 other cards we've seen today seem pretty good. At least competitive. Shakedown seems pretty good. And just a lot of different scenarios. Like a mid-range Bilgewater deck just seems pretty good. That's probably why they nerfed Petty Officer back as well, because they probably realized, oh yeah, this is going to be a problem. I don't really know what to say about TAHM KENCH. He's kind of a bit of an enigma. Very different, and I'll need to think more about him. Obviously, everyone's pointing out the synergies with Vlad. Of course, there isn't too much synergy like here with TAHM KENCH necessarily. Their stats do reset. Once you capture something and then something comes out, the stats do reset on that. So say you've damaged something, they will go back to full health. So that maybe is a bit of synergy. And I suppose the striking, because it does strike him, I suppose if he survives the damage, then that's a bit of synergy with Vlad as well. That'll get you somewhere. And you're getting these spells, these 2-mana spells. I don't know, man. It's a tough one. That is a weird one. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I think of Vlad, not necessarily TAHM KENCH, but with the cards we saw yesterday, a Vlad deck with those cards and like Jack the Winner could be pretty decent. Like a mid-range deck. Even something like Wise Guy as well as like your closer. I could see that. I could definitely see that. And you're definitely playing stuff like Shakedown. And all the Crimson units probably. And your transfusions and other stuff like that. Citrus Courier maybe even is pretty good as well in that deck. Because of course it'll heal up all your allies as well. So yeah, I could definitely see that kind of being a thing. But I'm not sure if TAHM KENCH necessarily fits in quite into that deck. I think you probably have better options, but I can't guarantee that. And I think that's where I'm probably going to end this one. Definitely interesting. Let me know what you think. Comment on the video and just, tell me if TAHM KENCH is really bad or good. I think he's okay, at the very least. I'm just a bit unsure of exactly where he fits in and like exactly, normally you look at a champion, you can at least like think it's gonna go here, but this one is kind of like he could go, I think, in like a lot of spaces. He could just fit into a lot of different decks that you might not think of at first, but if you just need like a champion that's just decent value, kind of think like Elise maybe. Elise has been played in control, played in aggro, played in mid-range. It's like, just a champion where you're just like, oh, I have a champion slot and I need a 2-drop. Guess I'll put that in, I can definitely see an all-in build-around deck as well, like a buff deck, where you're just, going all in on TAHM KENCH. As I say, maybe Overwhelm Regeneration, and you use Bayo's Brunch, and you just, you try and make TAHM KENCH just aggressively really good. kind of similar to like a Braum type deal as well. You know, maybe you can go in for something like that. That could work. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end this one. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Chris. Have a really nice day.